Holy crap, that's such a hit.
So they released their top 10 offenses. Colorado's number 8.
This moment in sports history will be remembered as one of the better fights, man. Like,
Put the cherry on top, they played Austria today. Guess the score of that game? 32-25 to not medal for bronze.
Hello and welcome to Bros in the Bleachers Podcast, episode 28, our Ernie Irvin episode. And gentlemen, welcome.
hey, we are happy to be back for our Chris Johnson, our CJ 2K episode. Hell of a Sunday, hell of a Saturday in football. Josh, how we feeling?
We're gonna run a strike oppose Cristiano Ronaldo episode, and also, the Nolan Arenado episode. Not often you see a guy reject a trade, which, pretty fun.
Would you say Nolan Arenado hit the Cristiano Ronaldo to block the trade?
C.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Instead of C, it was no.
Don't want to go to Houston.
Yeah. And then they got rid of most of their team also as well, but then also kind of added, who knows? Who knows what they're doing? They have Jose Altuve. That's really all that matters for them.
Cheating scumbag, trash can banker. That's all I gotta say. But
Yeah.
away from that, we're going to college football. Bowl games are underway, and we have 2 bowl games advanced. Just on the pulse for bowl games this season. So Jake, Josh, let's hear it. Bowl game you saw that you enjoyed.
All right, well, I'll rip us off with one of the best bowl games that we've had of the season so far. Ohio versus Jacksonville State in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. If you don't know the name Parker Navarro, do your damn research because he's the next Johnny Manziel, guys. I'm telling you right now, 19 to 28 passing for 254 yards and a touchdown and an interception. You're like, oh, that's great, Jake, whatever. Let's talk about the ground game, brother. 15 carries, 111 rushing yards, and 3 touchdowns. He might be on Heisman watch for next season. That cured my staff's DNA. I don't know about you guys, but hell of a bowl game. 30 to 27 final. Looked a little bit shaky towards the beginning, but I don't know. Did anybody else staff's DNA get cured in this one?
I don't know if I have anything that needs to be cured, but for me, honestly, yeah, like the word that you described me, he's just a slippery guy. Like he's just evasive. He finds the zones. He's decisive where he goes, and yeah, he put on a heck of a game. He just kept rolling. MAC championship bowl win. Fridge reporter bound. Who knows?
Jake, Johnny Manziel comparison for old Parker Navarro is a huge comparison.
Hey, I'd say it, and I'm out here with it. Again, we're talking about the Mac version of Johnny Manziel right now. Hopefully,
Okay.
we get a little bit, gradual when Josh talks about maybe the portal becomes a thing. Who knows? But frankly, this game was a little bit wacky. 27-7 going into half with Ohio having the lead. Everyone, I think, thought the game was over. Parker Navarro cashed my 2 touchdown bet. I was ready to just, get ready for the next bowl game. But frankly, Jacksonville State just did not want to turn it off. And Trey Stewart ends up coming out of nowhere and getting 2 touchdowns late in the game. Former bell cow. We love it. And again, it comes down to one of those just kind of who's going to show up and who's going to say die. And frankly, 30 to 27 as a bowl game, not too damn bad,
No, yeah, good game, except if you had the hook, had the 3.5, -3.5. Oh man, those houses, they always win.
That's how they get you. The only other player and note that I wanted to shout out from the Jacksonville State side, Cam Vaughn, freshman this year, had 10 catches for 184 yards and a touchdown. Had an insane couple sideline catches and obviously got one through the end zone. So maybe another portal player to watch moving forward. But Staff DNA Cure Bowl, great midweek bowl game. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Jake, did you have anything on Parker's Titsworth for Ohio? Or was that later in the show?
Unfortunately, I don't have anything on Titsworth. I did see his game. I'm not too familiar with the game outside of the bowl game, but we'll be watching. He'll be knocking on the door, if you will.
Hey, Parker's Titsworth and the cure for breast cancer.
It's pretty good. Hey,
Yeah.
Sometimes it just writes itself. They make it a little bit easy.
Let's go on to the next bowl game, Jake.
Yeah, our next game does not have nearly as much of a layup line to it being a fun joke, but at the Union Home, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Tulane played against Florida, and Florida absolutely just chomped all over the Green Wave. The Green Wave going into the game, I think everybody knew that there was definitely some kind of tumultuous nature, everything going on with Coach, everything going on with Mensa entering the portal. It was just kind of a tumultuous game going into it, and frankly, Florida 529 total yards to 194 total yards from Tulane. It was just a mollywhopping. And, the biggest takeaway for Florida is that DJ Lagway is either their quarterback of the future or is the biggest person that's about to be in the portal because the freshman led Florida to now 4 straight wins against LSU, Ole Miss, FSU, and now Tulane. That's a hell of a resume to have at the end of your freshman year for a Florida team that is gasping for a future. You know what I mean? So, again, shout out to Florida for winning that game 33-8. Tulane only putting 8 points up late, but kind of gross.
Yeah, one of those classic college football games where it goes into half like 6-0, kind of be like, oh, maybe we got a chance, but the second half again, the more physical, bigger team just came out and laid waste to the other side. So
The Gators stayed sharp. They made it happen, and they walk out with a Gasparilla Bowl win. I don't know if that's at the beginning of the season what they were really hoping for, but hey, bowl game win is a bowl game win.
yep.
I would kill for a bowl game win, man. I don't know. I don't know what to
I'm,
tell
I'm,
you.
I'm fiending for a bowl game too, Drew.
When
We know.
feeding for New Mexico bowl game, the Gildan New Mexican bowl game, something whatever you want to call it.
There we go.
But let's go on to the playoff games that we saw this weekend. The first playoff game we had on Friday night, Indiana rolls into South Bend, Indiana, and Notre Dame comes out on top 27-17. And the score doesn't really reflect how much Notre Dame absolutely just dominated.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, the game, both of the kind of the games that were kind of over by half. It was very dominant in the beginning where the run game from Notre Dame was just going to keep getting whatever they wanted, and Riley Leonard was just going to continue to flounder around like a weird little fish and and dice them up and get the yards needed. And yeah, that defense continues to stay stout for Notre Dame.
Yeah, to your point, Josh, the rushing game was the definition of this game because Indiana only had 63 rushing yards all game. Notre Dame puts up 193 rushing yards. Now, let's take a step back in the sense where they did have a 98-yard touchdown to start off the game. So, again, it kind of slowed a lot down from there in terms of offensive production and whatnot. But the late game efforts from Indiana just didn't end up putting anything together to, again, you're probably happy that you were there, but I can't see them repeating a playoff performance. I don't know about you guys.
That run was also the longest in college football playoff history. Um, but no, yeah, just Kirk Cignetti just get another bigger job and leave. Who knows? I don't know.
No, he's got he just signed a huge extension, and I see him as being someone who really wants to foster and develop
Oh
that
yeah.
program.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to Indiana being able to just replicate this is kind of lightning in a bottle a little bit. Notre Dame, I really wasn't expecting them to be able to just suffocate Indiana's offense like that, but Curtis Rourke definitely got exposed a little bit, and Riley Leonard, for as much as he floundered around, he floundered his way into the end zone, both passing and rushing. So again, kudos to the team, and really Notre Dame's defense, I think, is really what we got to start watching out for a little bit.
I think for Indiana, I mean, a lot of the talent that they had from JMU coming over, the transfer over to Indiana, some graduating seniors. So I don't know how well Kurt's going to recruit some of these players to come play for the Hoosiers. So I think that'll be quite telling later in the year.
Yeah, we'll see. That's a school with some resources, so who knows?
True. Who does Notre Dame go on to play now? Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, looks like
That'll
that
be,
game
I mean, that'll be a
minus one
swing
and a half
first, blink
Georgia.
first. Yeah, swing first, blink first kind of game.
Does the old Notre Dame come and fall up short against an SEC team, even with the backup quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I
And
saw the
again,
line
like,
open at Georgia minus one and a half, and I mean, I'm not someone who's got to start, get on it now because we've got time. It doesn't happen until New Year's Day, right? So there'll be a nice little lull of playoff football for a little bit, which is kind of nice a little bit. But I don't know. I think that Georgia is just going to be able to come in and, like we've talked about all year, they are the most talented at every position across offense and defense in the nation, arguably, and outside of quarterback. And now that quarterback has somewhat been solved, even though some could argue that it got worse, I think you just got to go with the SEC team, man.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, if anything, like what we've seen is that there's just every game's been a freaking blowout to a degree. So yeah, like we might be dabbling in some alt spreads and Georgia, exactly.
I got Georgia on my mind.
Hmm.
But that'll end the Friday game. We go into Saturday, the first game of the Saturday morning college football slate for the playoff. We have Penn State taking on SMU, and Penn State defense absolutely demolished, wrecked, destroyed any hopes and dreams of SMU going advancing the playoffs 38-10.
Yeah, to the point on the defense, Dominic DeLuca is their star from that game. Two interceptions, one of them going for a pick six, five tackles, two solos, and a half sack. Elite.
Super elite. Who else is elite? Kevin Jennings. He threw two touchdowns to the other team.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, it got to the point where I was sitting there with Jake, and I'm like, well, listen, if they're lying a bit here. He has thrown two TDs. Like, if I want to be fair about his performance, no, yeah, it was an absolute mollywhopping. Like I don't, it clearly SMU just didn't have that one little explosive step, which could, I mean, honestly, have just been the weather because it looked cold and it was cold, and I mean everything was operating a little slower. And Ken
27
Jennings was
degrees.
just he was just doing some weird stuff. Like it was just mind-boggling. Like I'm like, hopefully it doesn't cascade from here, right? And then it got worse. And then I'm like, oh, surely again, right? And then it happened again. I'm like, you got to bench the kid. No offense. I'm like, you got to, coming out of half, you might need to put another option in there. And that head coach, he rode with him. He rode with him a little more. And so again, it just got even worse. And I was just mind boggled. I was just mind boggled.
It just seemed like improv ball. And like, I get that you're playing against a team like Penn State that is elite when it comes to the defensive side of the ball and being able to move 10 yards on them, let alone get 75 yards after a kickoff and move all the way down the field and score. KJ Jennings just looked a little bit lost, frankly. And I mean, there was no help from the rushing game either. Like 58 SMU rushing yards to 189 Penn State rushing. Katron Allen, who we've been big on all year, coming up huge with 11 carries for 70 rushing yards and two touchdowns with two catches and 28 yards receiving. So again, I think that Penn State now has to go and face BSU, Josh. I mean, it's going to be a big game. I'm curious to get your initial thoughts on this.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a game that's going to be in the trenches. Like Boise State, let's see what the O line, how well they can handle some of that uh Penn State beef, because they've got a lot of good run stoppers. They got a lot of good run defenders, and yeah. Um, I think initially though, probably a lot of what they'll try to do is a lot of that bootleg stuff, which who knows how well Penn State will be prepared for that. But again, like kind of what happened with Jennings is that these Penn State defenders are fast. Like they'll get on you quick. They'll get on those balls fast. So you only want to learn that lesson once in a game. That's really all you're going to want to allow yourself is one interception. And if you do more than that as Boise State, you're just going to lose the game, and it's going to look exactly like this game. So, so let's hope that the Mustangs were the fake ponies, and the Broncos can ride on.
Right on. Broncos country. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go on to the next game where Clemson takes on Texas, and Texas wins 38-24. Clemson did score first, and yeah, that was kind of it for the most part. And Texas rode away with it.
Yeah, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but all of these games, it just came down to rushing, man. Like there were teams that were able to show up and there were other teams that weren't able to. And this week it was Texas running backs, and Texas running backs ended up equating for 292 rushing yards.
Imagine if
Uh,
Texas had this run game against Georgia.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I mean, Clemson puts up 76 yards rushing the entire game. Jaden Blue with 14 carries for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's the backup because Quintravion Wisner had 15 carries for 110 carries and 2 touchdowns. It's like a Sonic and Knuckles type performance, when we're talking Montgomery and Gibbs, right? But
Yeah.
Texas rolled, man, and there were a couple moments where it got a little bit shaky, but it wasn't anything that I think people were really freaking out too much, unless you had some crazy aggressive spreads. I got screwed on the under in this game. I did not see Clemson coming out there and being able to put up 20 something points, and frankly, I didn't see Texas being able to put up 35 plus points on Clemson. That was nuts.
And honestly, it could just be the amount of time that you have to prepare for this game. If you're a bigger, more physical team and you game plan correctly, which we're going to get into with Ohio State, we're looking at you, Ohio State. Then you can come in and win. You can win these games, and we'll see exactly what that means for the teams that got the bye. I mean, I would expect a Georgia to be defensively sound against whatever they see in that game and whatever tendency breakers you have and whatever they can implement in this week. Um, yeah, we'll determine it. But yeah, I don't. I mean, again, like the rest advantage is also good for a lot of those bye teams, but it's still like it's going to be nine days until these games.
A lot of time, like
It's a
almost
lot
a
of time.
scary amount of time at that point, because then you're kind of
Yeah,
sitting, you're lulling, you got holidays, you got distractions, you got A, B, and C. But no, to your point, I think that Texas is charging, and the fact that they have to play ASU is probably a glorious, just absolute cupcake that they wanted when it came to mapping out their schedule to the playoff. I just see ASU getting their pants pulled down, man. I don't see there being any kind of fight with it, but Texas. I mean, listen, if they're able to run for 200 something yards and ASU is able to run for 200 something yards, and then we have to have a battle of the defenses, I'm taking Texas's defense by a million. You know what I mean? So
This might be another game where the talent outshines the other side on the other side of the ball.
yeah,
yeah,
game's going to get too big
yeah.
for one of the teams.
Ain't that the truth? And let's go to a game that was too big for another team. Ohio State took on Tennessee in the horseshoe. Ohio State wins 42-17. And Chip Kelly and Ryan Day, they listened and they threw the ball. Will Howard over 300 yards on the air.
Ryan Day lived the night, lived to die another day is what we should be calling this guy. I mean, again, he needs to be able to win every single game moving forward to save his job, right? Like if that's at least my
Yeah.
opinion on it. I like this game against Tennessee. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. I don't understand why Tennessee was here. I get it. Like maybe there were numbers behind it. Maybe it was playing in the SEC. Pick your gambit for it. I just didn't see it anywhere throughout the season that this is a team that we've got to be watching moving forward. Nico, for all of the talk that was going on at the beginning of the season with the Heisman to just the reality of what this game ended up being 14-31 for 104 passing yards, no touchdowns, just kind of throwing the ball a little bit scared throughout the game. But then the guy that is now on Heisman watch moving into 2025, Jeremiah MFing Smith, bro. Six
Right.
catches, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. For I believe one of the first Ohio State players to ever get for 1,000 receiving, if not the first.
I have no idea.
Can confirm that for you.
Oh, okay. All right. That's me throwing out random stats, but I think that's right. But anyways, I think that Jeremiah Smith from the wide receiver position at this point, there's not going to be a lot of other guys that outside, right? And we've learned it this year. There was the list of quarterbacks that just ballooned the beginning of Heisman boards, right? And then you saw little guys like Travis and Genty that are at, plus 6,000, plus 8,000 to start the season because they're not a quarterback. I expect this to be something where we're looking at, couple thousand odds, and I might be getting a little greasy. I don't know. I'm big on Jeremiah Smith moving forward.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, Ohio State continues to be one of the most infuriating teams in the nation because you're like, you literally have Mbuka and you have Smith. Like, you get them the ball and good things happen. That's 100%. Like they can get stuck themselves in the run game occasionally when they're losing those battles there. But like, yeah, you got to design some passes to just get those guys in play because yeah, crazy things happen when they get the ball, and that's the key to victory in almost all of their games where they blow people out, which is obviously easy to say. Like big plays, big throws, get those easy touchdowns. Not easy, but the ones that impact the game the most is you're just destroying the morale of another team.
And to your point on just big plays. This was Will Howard's best game of the season. I think that's pretty easy to say at this point. But 24 of 29 passing, 311 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, still threw a pick. So Drew, we can still be happy. Don't worry. Life is good. But for as much as Jeremiah Smith is on Heisman watch for 2025, I think that Will Howard might be on Jersey Mike's watch for 2025 because I'm still not believing it. Like I see this as being something where Tennessee is, you know, this is a morale win. This wasn't a playoff win. If you're Ohio State, like you've now got to go into this next week and or I'm sorry, not next week, but this next matchup. And remind me on what side of the bracket they're playing. They're playing.
They
Oregon?
are playing against Oregon,
right? Yeah. So this was a let's get ourselves back to even game, and now let's go face Oregon. And I mean, damn, I'm scared. But if this Ohio State offense can show up like it did this week, where total yardage 473 to Tennessee's 256, Oregon's not going to be that cupcake. So I don't expect that game to be anywhere near what this game looks like. But how do we feel going into Oregon? I feel like this has got to be their, it was the biggest matchup of the season earlier this year. It's just 2.0 now.
This is perfect for Ohio State. Like again, like it's for Ryan Day specifically right now. It's like, yeah, sure, you want a big game. Now it's like now you got to go win another one, and it's another spot again where the traps are already laid, brother. You just got to avoid them. Like just get in there and like everybody is juiced up to play this game. Like everybody on the Ohio State side wants to play Oregon again because that that loss was such a heartbreaker. And again, to have the icing on the cake be that you also lost that Michigan, like the poop icing on your fucking shit cake. Like this is the rematch that everybody wants. This is again the team that you need to beat. And don't blow your wad too hard because it's not the national championship. But it might feel like it to a degree, but like it's a massive game. It's a huge rematch, and yeah, I'm so excited to watch it.
Can't wait.
I mean, that was a game where Will Howard threw over 300 yards in that too, and they just came up a little bit short. How did they lose that game? Did they lose conversion on 4th down? How did that?
No, that was the Will Howard pooped his pants game.
That was where he needed to slide or
yeah, that's right. It's time. That's what it was. The time management.
Right.
He had the little like brain fart, and he was like slide throw, slide throw, slide throw, slide throw, and he just
long season. But that'll wrap up college football playoffs for the week, and let's go on to lump of coal of the week. Who turned into a lump of coal? Who absolutely choked? Who blew it? I got one this week. Maybe you guys have seen it. Valparaiso was taking on Western Michigan in basketball. Valpo is down 22 points with less than 7 minutes to go. 99.9% chance to win the game for Western Michigan. And what happens? Half-court buzzer beater. Valpo out of nowhere, handing that lump of coal into the Western Michigan Broncos. Lump of coal, Western Michigan.
This is why I continue to say win expectation graphs suck. These are just so. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong.
I love them.
I love them so much.
It makes me so angry. But hey, so Mustangs weren't great this week. Broncos weren't great this week. I will tell you another team that deserves a lump of coal, not only this week, but pretty much for the entire month of December thus far. Jackson State basketball has started their season officially 0-12. And not only has it been 0-12, but the first 11 games of the year were on the road. They had their first home game last night against Akron, and they lost 68-50. I will say that they've had a somewhat rough schedule to start the year. They've already played Houston, Xavier, Vandy, WKU, Kentucky, St. Louis, and Iowa State, which are all potentially tournament bound. But Akron, don't go lobbing them in there like that. But the main reason why they're a lump of coal is we're talking about some of the ugliest offensive to defensive splits that I've seen. They have been outscored 83.7 to 60.2 in their first 12 games. They are losing by an average of 23 points a night. That's diabolical. Figure it out.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Washington Wizards, Jackson State, handshake.
I mean, yes, and I'm telling you, I'll be watching their next game. Their next game is on December 28th versus CU Baptist. So I will see you later, Jacksonville State. Let's get it. Jackson State.
Hate it.
Josh, lump of coal.
My lump of coal is going to be the whole ACC. We had a Clemson loss. SMU got embarrassed. And I'm looking at you, Cal, too. I saw you lose as well to UNLV. And then, Miami's chilling at home complaining about how they should be in the playoffs. So they're also losers. So, I'm not sure who the rest of the division plays in their playoff matchups, but I will eagerly be watching to see who else will be getting more coal.
So ACC is currently what, 0 for 3 in playoff and bowl appearances right now? All right.
Yep.
How many teams from the ACC made a bowl game? Do we have any idea?
Let me check. They should relegate them though.
I can run through it ASAP, Rocky. We had Cal, we had SMU, we had Clemson, we have Virginia Tech in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. We have Duke going against Mississippi in the Gator Bowl. We have Louisville against Washington in the Sun Bowl. NC State in the Military Bowl against East Carolina. Man, we got some Pop-Tarts Bowl, Miami.
Damn, so there's another 5 appearances from ACC teams.
UNC in the Fenway
6?
Bowl. The Holiday Bowl, Syracuse.
7?
You gotta win 6 games, Jake. It's a lot of mid.
I know, you're right. You're right.
And that Pittsburgh game above
my
Sports
God.
Bowl.
There's another
they're
8 game. Okay, timeout. So
Pitt
knowing
playing
that
by
they're
the love of Toledo.
knowing that their record right now with playoffs and bowl games, they're at 0 and 3, and that there's another 8 games to go for the ACC. What is their final record of 11 for the ACC in bowl games and playoffs?
I think we just get over under 500.
I give
Okay.
it 3 and 5. The final record.
3, 5,
So-
5.
2 more losses. Was there? Did I name off 8
You-
teams?
So
2 more
it's 11. Yeah, there's 11 total,
yeah. Okay. Whoops. Then that recalculating.
and they've already lost 3. So take that into account.
Give me 4 and 7.
4 and 7. Okay, you mean 4 and 8. Wait, no, I can't do math. Oh my
So-
god.
Or
Okay.
9.
Yeah, we're having a tough time doing math here, fellas. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they go 4 and 7 as well. I like that. I don't think that they're doing too well in a couple of these other ones.
I'll just be a hater and do 3 and 8 so I can just dish more coal out. I got the artillery loaded up. Let's fire these cannons.
Let's see it.
Bop, bop, bop. And now that'll wrap up Lump of Coal of the week. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate it. Happy Hanukkah, L'chaim. So yeah, holiday season just right around the corner. So let's get into the NFL action slate. We have the Thursday night game and an absolute surprising win. Los Angeles Chargers win 34-27, beating Denver. Are the Chargers back in a duel for the AFC West?
It's tough to say. I mean, like they're like I was talking to Jake about it. I think so. Where I was saying like a lot of the like teams that are like 9 and 6 to 8 and 7 and whatever. Like there's so much like variance in those games that like have just been decided by coin flips, and you really can see it. And it's so tough because yeah, the Broncos like they came out of a cannon. They fired out. They were starting so hot. They had what three total touchdowns there, and were held touchdownless in that second half. That Chargers defense really like stepped up and rounded into form there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Chargers just kept building and building and building and gaining. And Herbert really, I don't know if this was the most comfortable game it looks like he had, which is something to be said against a divisional opponent. That was a massive game, but it's tough. I mean, in the playoff, I still don't know if I'd rather if I'd rather face the Broncos or the Chargers if I have to face them. Like it's still tough, but I think I'd still rather probably face the Chargers because like if you stop that run game, like it does get a little scary. But yeah, Herbert's rounding into form here in the stretch.
Yeah, I definitely was a part of that Broncos bandwagon this week, and I think when it comes to the Chargers now, like obviously they have the juice, and we know that they've had a scary defense, and if they can have a team that if their offense can put up, again, 4 touchdowns, let's call it that 30-point marker. It's kind of been what we've talked about with the Bengals, right? Where the Bengals, they put up a shit ton of points, they're going to end up winning games. But the Chargers, if they're able to put up a shit ton of points, that they have a defense that can elbow other teams to really just kind of Ferrari ahead. I don't know. I walk out of that game feeling like both teams just kind of still feel like this is a rubber match to me. I don't think that division, and again, it seems like there's going to be 2 teams, maybe even 3 that make it out of that division to get into the playoff. Probably only 2.
Well, let's see what the
Ah.
stats are right now. We have the Chiefs, they locked up the division,
Right.
and then Denver and LA have the last two spots for the wild card. So they have Indianapolis and Cincinnati nipping on their heels, and then they're very much so anticipated Bengals Denver matchup next week. So very
Ooh.
big.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
Ooh.
mean, we'll
There's
get
a
more
way
into
the
some of the
Broncos. There's a way the
yeah.
Broncos fumble it.
Hey, yeah, we'll get into some of the other teams in a little bit, but I think that if you have to give me between Broncos and Chargers to make the playoffs right now, I think that I've got more stock in the Chargers making the playoffs, just with Herbert's ability to probably be able to turn it on, the defense just being able to groove for the next couple of weeks. I'll ride with Chargers for the rest of the way.
Let's see how it shakes out. We got this is crunch time. This is the witching hour, you could say, of the NFL season, you might say.
There you go.
Let's go
Yeah, yeah.
on to the Friday games. The Chiefs took on the Texans. Chiefs beat them 27 to 19. Fuck, this was Saturday. Let's go to the Saturday games. Chiefs take on the Texans 27 to 19. Uh, Chiefs win in convincing fashion against a good team, you could say. Right, Jake? Huh?
Hey, you could even say they covered, you could even call them a great team if you really wanted to.
Apparently. Hey, you know what? Before we get into it, I saw a thing about the Chiefs where they go back and look at their past wins. They could be 7-7 the way it looks with all the potential wins and losses they could have actually had.
That's so okay. There we go. Is that all of us were talking about this idea of the teams that were flipping up and down, even with the Chiefs? Like again, if they're going to lose 4 games in a span like that and the schedules flip and whatnot, we're talking about a completely different year, obviously. But I don't know. I sit here with the Chiefs thinking that again, they're covering games late now. They're playing against opponents that they probably shouldn't be covering games against, and they had trouble earlier in the season not covering games against teams that they should have covered against, right? So I think that just starts to put the formula together of the Chiefs are
Well, the
what
Raiders fumble, the Carolina game, the missed field goal that Denver had, or the blocked field goal. There's a lot of games.
yeah, that I say
Baltimore
it
Ravens,
likely. Yep.
yep.
So
Bengals
there's
win.
I don't know. I still walk out of that game thinking that the Chiefs are going to make it very deep this year and that it's going to be deep enough to maybe hold the trophy. Who knows? But there's no reason to not take stock in that. The Texans, again, have another opportunity to be able to just come in and prove me that they're not just the teensiest bit fraudulent. And they're going to win their division. That's great. They're going to have a really hard matchup in the wild card round. And I'd project them to probably lose in the wild card, depending on who they play against. Right. So,
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Tank Dell getting injured in that game,
yeah,
which, yeah,
teasing
but
me.
Ugh.
but it was kind of two different games, like right after that injury, and again, like it's a team that is kind of just been getting destroyed by a health, and
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, like yeah, they're kind of just sleepwalking their way into what will probably be a playoff showing, but mm, probably won't amount to much. Prove us wrong. Prove Jake wrong, not me. I've already taken enough hits today.
Yeah, but no, yeah, the Texans, like you said, Jacob, they were gonna prove the haters wrong. They could have, but they unfortunately didn't. CJ Stroud finally had a game over. A decent passing day. He did throw 2 interceptions, but was not enough. Joe Mixon didn't come in and help him out. So just gonna have to move on and wear it.
Yeah, yeah, the one good run, that was it.
Right. Let's go to the next Saturday game where the Ravens took on the Steelers and Lamar Jackson beats the Steelers 34 to 17. And is Rusty out of the Rusty magic? I don't know.
It really was a lot of like the highlight end of the game, of which when I watched it, where I was like, yeah, that could have just been that could have just been Justin Fields, and I don't think anybody else would have been surprised. Which like is probably probably what I should not be feeling as I'm watching, Russell run around there and, panic throw and danger witch his way through through the line.
A lot of danger
Danger Witch.
witches.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of like, oh, he's gonna take off for a run. He gets like, uh, he's like a train, like it's like his like feet start moving a little bit, and then it's just like he's tackled. It's
He didn't have enough
ridiculous.
steam coming out of the hole. It didn't build
Uh,
up enough steam.
Again, if that's Justin Fields, sometimes you might just take that.
Yeah, with this Ravens team, I mean, obviously, I think a huge morale win and being able to get, the big win over your rival, right? Huge victory morale wise for Mark Andrews. I learned that this was his first touchdown ever against the Steelers in his 7-year career,
That's
which is,
crazy.
yeah. And again, just a guy that,
Well, there's
maybe
the
start
problem.
right. Maybe started the season a little bit slow, but it's always been kind of a go-to guy for him. So I don't know. I think that again, Ravens, they're going to make the playoffs. They're probably a team that people should really be kind of watching out for. But there are games where they don't really show me everything that I think that they can really do. So I think that this is a great morale win, but I got to see them do it for another couple weeks to make me really think that they're going to go deep in the playoffs because I think that they're going to show up. I think that they're going to make somebody's life hell, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win the game that they play because that has definitely been the case this season. The Ravens have found ways to lose random ass games and to blow spreads. And granted, they've been able to cover big ones too, but I'm not convinced yet.
Absolutely.
Got to prove it in the playoffs, and Lamar sure hasn't done that yet. So who knows? Does he prove us wrong this year? We're only one way to find out.
Prove
Uh,
himself wrong.
that's right. Let's go into today's games. We had the Carolina Panthers beat the Arizona Cardinals 36 to 30 in overtime. Kyler Murray stinks, and Chuba Hubbard just went absolutely off.
Yep. Big on Chuba Hubbard this year in the fantasy squad. So absolutely love that. We are charging our way into a playoff, and Chuba, you are half the reason we're doing it. But when it comes to the Cardinals, what the hell, bro? I mean, I honestly I thought they were still in like contention and being able to get something done here. But one, the NFC is really competitive. Two, the NFC West is really competitive. And I mean, man, the Panthers just have everything to play for when it comes to being able to showcase that Bryce Young can still play football, that they have some weapons that they can really build a roster around, make it somewhat of a destination that people want to come to from a free agent position, right? And this is what the Panthers are set up for. Josh, you said it last week. Like we're going to be riding the Panthers to cover for the rest of the season, and damn it, we walked out like a bandit. We love it.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, the Cardinals have always been stinky. They've always been a little bit fraudulent. And it's again, it's week by week. You can never like bet them based off like a tendency. It's just, you just got to let the Cardinals either self-destruct or they're just basically like the professional Penn State that, is not that wasn't Penn State this week. So we're like, hey, we're hanging out here. We might win this game. Haha, oh, we're going to overtime. Look at me. I'm Kyler Murray. I've been talked about being an MVP, and then it's just like, how are we losing to the Panthers? It's like, what a wild 7 minutes of NFL football.
Yeah, that was absolutely wild. And one of my big takeaways from this game is again, you're playing against the Panthers. Like they've got a, not the worst defense in the NFL. They've got a better half of the defenses. And when it comes to that, Marvin Harrison only having 4 catches for 39 receiving in this game, but really just this season. And again, rookies, we don't want to look too big into now, the huge balloon that we've seen over the last couple of years with obviously Puka Nacua breaking the record last year, Jamar Chase breaking the record before that, and just Justin Jefferson and just all these guys that have had huge rookie totals. But him on the season only having 47 catches on 93 targets for 682 yards and 7 touchdowns doesn't sound right. And maybe that just showcases the fact that again, maybe it's Kyler Murray, maybe it's the offense, maybe it's just the Cardinals really weren't good and kind of had everybody kind of bait and switch for most of the year. But I don't know. I kind of just walked out of that game not feeling super great, but except if you're a Panthers fan, there's things to claw for now, man. It's nuts.
They're shaking, but you still have Dave Tepper.
Yeah.
Well, reportedly, he said reportedly he took a step back. So ever since those reports came out, he's been team looking a little bit better.
Step back. Into what? Like a closet just right over what the GM's doing? Like, I wouldn't do that.
No, he took a step back to wind up to throw another drink at a bunch of fans.
No, it's a step back, Nick Young shoot, but then you turn around and you missed it. That's what it's gonna end up being.
Um,
Scumbag.
Yep, can't argue that. Let's go on to the following game in New York City. The Rams roll in to the Jets. Rams win 19-9. You thought the Jets had it, and then the Rams and Sean McVay pull out a win.
Yeah, I know you said that it was New York, but it was definitely New Jersey because the Jets looked more like New Jersey than they did New York today. I will tell you that. The Rams absolutely just hammer fisted them. And again, we're now talking about a division lead in the NFC West, which we've already talked about a little bit on the pod today. You know, I think that if you're the Rams, this is a huge win on the road for you. If you're the Jets, this would have been a
This is
huge.
double huge for them too, because we'll get to a game later. But continue. Sorry.
Yep. But again, if you're the Rams going into a cold environment to be able to win a game on the road against a defense that's supposed to be top half, kudos, right? Like you showed up. Maybe it wasn't as many points as you wanted to put up. Maybe it's not as pretty as you wanted it to be, but kudos. Jets, I mean, we've already known that the season was just a dumpster, but you had a chance today. Like that you had all of the weapons in front of you to be able to keep this going. Um, I don't know who you turn to be able to blame on this. And football's not really a blame one guy type of sport sometimes. But man, you can look at more of the team pieces of how the Rams got there than the individuals on how the Jets lost, and that doesn't sit right, you know?
I mean, I can't believe they lost the game after, Rogers' documentary dropped. It's inexcusable. I thought this was a season of no distractions, but you know,
That's actually hysterical.
I mean, they're a dumpster. I don't know, I don't understand what, Aaron Rodgers performing to like, maybe be in another team and, or maybe to have Kirk Cousins be his backup next year and then to just kind of, just be old fart in their way to see who's got it this game, who's got it the next game. But yeah, good on the Rams. That's a division that's it's really wide open. I mean, is the Seahawks game? Oh, we're gonna get to that one later.
Yep, we're gonna get to that later.
Oh, I'll be quiet.
But no, like you said, in the first half, it looked like, damn, the Jets are look like they're playing for something, even though they really don't have anything to play for. They held Cooper Kupp to like zero catches. But then Kyron Williams and company decided to shut that door on any hope
Yeah,
that
he's their saving grace.
yeah, no, he's been having a real good stretch of games. But let's go to the disgusting AFC South where the Titans take on the Colts. Colts pull out a win 38-30, and Jonathan Taylor went absolutely nuclear.
Yeah, Jonathan
Still a
Taylor
lead.
legacy game, absolute legacy game. But I mean, this game just seemed like it was just going to be an absolute slop fest. I don't know how I didn't see the over just written on the tea leaves prior to this because this was just a weird game. The fact that the Colts now like stay alive for the playoffs, like what? Like is that still a thing? I,
And
AFC South. Like
imagine if Jonathan Taylor held onto the ball last week against the Broncos. That could have.
yeah.
Yeah. Just definitely a team that, again, high variance, they could either have been the Chiefs or they could just be the lowly Colts down there trying to slug it out against Mason Rudolph and the Titans, where the Titans are also like definitely in contention for a number one overall pick and have been playing games like they're not, which is
Yeah.
Well, this was a perfect game for them to do
that's
that
insane.
because it was 38-7 in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden they string together three touchdowns. Like, oh my God, it's 38-30. When did this happen? Um, but I guess a good morale loss, you would say.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I saw from the Colts, like from like, was a cut where it was literally a cut where it was just Joe Flacco, like Anthony Richards just did something, and it was Joe Flacco just like doing this on the bench next to Anthony Richards, just being like, "It's fine, bro, it's fine." And I'm like, how are you just letting this kid just stress out Joe Flacco who's not even playing? Like he's just chilling.
Oh, it's so good.
So funny.
Yeah, it looked like a game that Anthony Richardson was going to run with, like literally run the ball with. He had 7 for 11 completion, and it's just like maybe Shane Steichen was like, maybe we shouldn't throw the ball. Let's just run it with our absolute workhorse of a running back. But
Clydesdale, man.
And are
yeah,
equally as evasive Clydesdale at quarterback.
ain't that the
Hmm.
truth? Let's go on to the next game, right in the Midwest too. Cincinnati taking on the Browns. The Bengals beat the DTR Browns 24-6, and Myles Garrett becomes the youngest player to reach 100 sacks. And Jake, I want you to say it. Say it. Your favorite thing about this stat.
What that he's not even 29 yet?
Yeah, boom.
29? Yeah, man. I mean, this guy is an absolute sausage. The fact that he's able to just come in week over week and be able to just run through. I mean, what? He's a sausage. He's moving like he's a spicy Italian sausage.
A
He's
sausage
going.
with like 280 pounds of pure muscle.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh.
listen, all I know is that it was definitely a very fun piece to be able to see a guy like that who the Browns have had a lot of turmoil. Anytime that these individual guys can kind of see that kind of perk up, especially on the defensive side. I don't know why it just hits a little bit harder seeing them get those milestones. But again, kudos to Myles Garrett. Bengals, this was your game, and you stay alive. And it's a big. You're playing the BGs, just staying alive all night long because I think that you get Jamar doing his thing, you get Chase Brown doing his thing. You finally have a cohesive offense that's even getting guys like T. Higgins, Gasecki, Yosivas in it. If they keep putting up 30 points a game, man, they are going to make the playoffs and they are going to be somebody's worst nightmare. I'm saying it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're I mean, well, yeah.
I'm
They're
saying it.
definitely
Joe
there's
Burrow's
a
playing insane ball right now, man.
he is, but again, like they're one of those high there's one again, one of them high variance teams where they when you're one dimensional and you can stop that one dimension, then it just kind of becomes just a sputter fest. But yeah, they'll beat the crap out of a team that literally has nothing offensively going for it and probably won't. I mean, you can either have one fumble and two interceptions by DTR or five interceptions by Jameis, and maybe he'll throw for 280 yards, and primarily Jerry Judy will be happy, which, last week we established we're on the happy Jerry Judy train.
Well, to be fair on that one dimension, I guess their one dimension is they have no defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been able to put up points through the run, through passing. It's just the defense. We all know it's just stinky hot garbage baking in the
Yep.
sun. But
The
no,
Bengals are Miami. That is, we
Oh, whoa, don't compare Tua and Joe like that. That's
no, no, no,
rude.
no, 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 not my Cam Ward, Miami, not. Come on.
oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry, my
it's
bad, my bad, my bad. Cam Ward, Miami, and Joe Burrow, Bengals are in very similar worlds and scenarios where, again, I think that you're right on the cusp of the
yeah.
playoff. There's an opportunity where you get in, you have your, absolutely sick offense that is probably top dog when you think about it. But again, if they find somebody who's got a, hungry dog runs faster type mentality, then they're going to run into a problem. But I think that Burrow is really starting to get into his own. And, again, knock on wood right now. But I feel like in other seasons past, we've heard about like lingering injuries, like things that have kind of been kind of plaguing not only him, but also the Bengals. This year kind of seems like a fully, Joe is Joeing. So you got this, Joe.
yeah, and yeah. And speaking of Miami, a couple more losses by the Browns and a couple more wins by these teams that shouldn't be winning games, and Cam Ward could be back.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Look at that full circle right there.
Mhm,
How
mhm.
about it? And let's rip the band-aid on this next game. Disgusting game. The Falcons at home beat the New York Giants 34-7. Michael Penix debuts and gets his first win as a starting quarterback.
Yeah, Bijan also he was out there getting sprawled and splatted, but still being very very productive.
So dynamic, man. You can see it. Like there are times where he'll get a handoff, and sometimes it's just kind of the way that the Falcons' offensive line works, where they just open up a hole, and you just got a guy that fast, and he can just charge through. But there are other times where he's eating tackles and he's getting to the outside of people. And I don't know. This was one of those kind of classic games where it just felt like Bijan was going to pop off, and it's because the Giants are so bad. Josh, your point on the Browns maybe getting Cam Ward, I think that the Giants season is shit done because they're getting Shadur. And I mean, it's going to be an interesting kind of gambit for the rest of the season, but the Giants just continue to look as small and minuscule as they can when it comes to this season. I mean, again, it's pretty hard to be behind the Cowboys in the NFC East right now, but I'm crash
Which
anyways.
Here, hold on. We should put it in now. Is Dayball's job safe? Is he back? I'm
Uh,
gonna go no.
I think it really depends
yeah.
on who they're thinking about going with as the pick, right? Like
Because I don't think you
it's
let
sad to think that that has so much of a play into it, but it's going
you
to be
got to
like,
bring a
do
new
you
coach in with a quarterback.
He did make Daniel Jones look somewhat competent and also get a new contract.
I mean, but that's
Um,
also one of those things where it's like, are we sure that it's not Daniel Jones making Brian Daboll's career, and that like again like maybe Daniel Jones just needed time again, like maybe Anthony Richardson was suddenly spring being thousand a bit more accurate, was able to
interesting?
get
I
year
like the
four.
take.
Like we never know. You just sometimes these guys just need to play, they just need reps.
Hmm. I like to think that Dable's safe. I think that he's got probably a lot of people in like locker room behind him, but probably not like fan support at this point. That's at least my initial mouthfeel from the piece of it. But I mean, I would not be shocked that if from Giants ownership and GM perspective, they say, hey, let's say they end up getting the number one pick and they're like, it's Cam Ward, but then Dable's like, no, it's Shador. Then, if there's any kind of tiff, I could easily see him getting canned just because of how the record has been. But I don't think that they get rid of him just to get rid of him. There's got to be something behind it. I think it'll be some sort of controversy like that.
I don't know. The Mars are weird. I mean, you stuck with the Brooks brothers wearing Kirk Cousins light quarterback for 6 years. Why not do that with the coach? I don't know. I don't know what to
Yeah,
think, but um, do we want to waste any more breath on this game?
heck no.
No, but hey, Drew Lock scored the first touchdown, and then the Falcons rolled on with two defensive touchdowns. Uh, and let's get on to it, Josh. You and me, mano y mano. The Eagles fly into Washington, and the Commanders win 36 to 33 after Jalen Hurts gets knocked out of the game with the concussion.
Yeah, when you're sad, sip the brown, man. But yeah, I mean that just sucked.
Do we know like how bad the concussion was for Jalen? Or-
I mean he was pretty rocked. You could kind of see, you could clearly see it. Like as he
Yeah, he
took
didn't
that
look
hit.
great getting up, man.
I mean, I was talking to Jake about this, where it's like, it's kind of annoying that I see two Eagles quarterbacks get taken out of a game by getting spearheaded into the ground, and then there's still not a flag for either. Which, I mean, like again, the Eagles didn't lose the game because of penalties, but like this was one of those games where it's like anybody who talks about like refs being included on TV broadcasters as being like a good idea, or just like defending referees in general, like the refs had no clue what they were doing through most of this entire game. Like Drew and I were talking about it, like there were makeup calls here, calls over there. I mean, like an Eagles player got ejected over what was like pretty minimal. There were certainly points of emphasis that seemed to be handed down from the NFL on specific players, which is just again continues to just be kind of weird because like I don't know how you can just call a game when you're trying to be paying attention to just one specific thing. But yeah, just kind of a sloppy game. And one of those games where again it's like you're looking back at like the meme where you're looking back at the kid and you're just like, why can't you be normal? And it's just like the game's just like because yeah, like anytime these Eagles Commanders games come in where it's the Commanders like are winning, like the game is never normal. It's just not
Never.
allowed. Like we have like Kenny Pickett coming out and like throwing dimes, and you're just like everything's okay. Saquon Barkley's running touchdowns and everything's okay. And then Kenny Pickett in his small hands is just deciding whether or not he's just want like you know what, AJ can just get all the penalties he wants if we just get it in the area over there. And yeah, I mean, my, honestly, hats off to that Washington D line because the second half was uncomfortable for the Eagles O line, and you felt it. You felt it in the run game. Saquon Barkley got pounded because of it. And yeah, the defense just I don't know. They kind of just were pooping it out there in that second half.
Yeah, my perspective on this game was going down 14 to 0 after fumbling the ball twice by the same player and thinking like, wow, Ashton Genty sounds pretty good right now, doesn't he? um, and then Jaden Daniels absolutely putting on a show to cut it down 21 to 14 to go into half for Terry and Jamison Crowder touchdowns. And then looking at it, it's like, wow, we're really gonna lose this game to Kenny Pickett. This is how it's gonna go, down 27 to 14. And then we somehow put up 22 points in the fourth quarter and won a game that we should have won against Kenny Pickett. There's no other way to say it. There's no way else to be nice about it. But somehow made it even after Jaden Daniels throwing a pick and then be like, well, just loves to make it that much harder for himself, and he somehow pulled it off. It was great.
Yeah,
Josh, to your
yeah.
point, this was just such a classic NFC East game where I was just sitting here. I had no action on the game. I'm involved in the game in about 30 minutes. I'm just like, let's just see the absolute slop fest that this is going to be. And man, it was fun having the Saquon piece in fantasy and seeing just the numbers go up, 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 up. And then at halftime, I was like, wait, why don't they stonks are just supposed to go up? Like, why don't you just keep going up? And then it stopped, and I got sad. But I mean, listen, for the Commanders, I feel like this is a huge win. Obviously, probably not the best of circumstances that you want to walk out of the win with, but I think that from a mouthfeel perspective, you're just charging further and further into the playoffs.
Huge morale boost.
There you go. But I, I think that when it comes to the Eagles, right, it's just let the ship keep rolling. These are going to be you maybe get one or two of these that you can drop over the next couple of weeks, and then it's just
Ooh,
reset and
Jake,
rock.
how could you say drop when Devontae Smith dropped an easy catch you could have had to convert?
Oh, Drew, let's go! Come on.
There's
Just
literally
kidding. I don't
two
feel bad at all.
drops.
Suck it. Anyways,
Literally. I mean, listen, I'll come for you later. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are two drops away from literally having one loss, and that is like genuinely infuriating in a league. Especially, it's just the whole season is like just don't beat yourself, and it's like, woo,
Now, okay, we'll,
wow.
we'll 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 wrap up one more idea and then we'll go on to the next game. But what do you think about Jalen Hurts? Do you feel like you guys just start him against Dallas and the Giants, or you guys just rest him and just take the wins or losses how they ever come for playoff seeding?
Because it's tough because like the trickier question becomes what is needed to win the division because like if you guys because you guys are what, yeah, you're 6-2 and then you play the Cowboys and that game could be meaningless either way, right, for both of the teams because it's either like if everybody's healthy and obviously you probably just try to win that Cowboys game anyways because more than likely you win that Cowboys game then it's the division and you're going to rest people regardless against the Giants who are absolutely going to not win that game in week 18. So like Kenny Pickett, like what have you, like again, get them small hands warm because we're going to start dialing passes up. And so it, it, I don't know. Like I think ultimately like what this means is that you're gonna rest who you can rest in week 18, which they've talked about it now how it's not like COVID where like how during those years it was just like oh the whole team's sick, right? And so everybody's rested and they've got a bunch of people off the street. Like you can only rest like I think 8 starters or something like that. So like a certain percentage of people have to play, which like obviously you have a gimme as like a quarterback, like oh Jalen's just quarterback too. He's not starting, right? But he's rested. So like that's an extra player that you can rest. So yeah, I think it ultimately comes down to like how do you secure the division? Because I think that 2 seed, um, 2 or 3 seed, it kind of doesn't matter. You ultimately want that one, and where it falls for 2 or 3 doesn't matter.
Very good take. Very good take on analysis of how the Eagles should play it out. This is why the NFC East is the most chaotic division.
there
I
you
mean,
go. See, that's something I can
it's the
agree with,
most
Drew.
fun. It's fun with backloading all those games because it always ultimately shakes out in a way that like you're like, oh, it's easy. The Eagles are just gonna roll on through it. They've won 10 in a row. They're gonna win the division. And then it's just like, oh yeah, you have 3 divisional games at the end. You've already beaten all the teams ahead of you that you have to worry about X, Y, or Z. No, these divisional games are always important. They're always hard, and you always go into them with a stomach upside down.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? That's why we're the most chaotic division in football. I don't care what all these other writers and journalists and media people have to say. Suck it. We're the best. Let's go into the next game where we have the Lions beating the Chicago Bears 34-17, and the Lions were pulling out all the tricks out of the bags just for fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bears were broken by the Commanders, and that's all I got to say.
yeah. This was just going to be one of those games where a lion can eat a bear. I guess physically is what I mean. They came for every damn kneecap and every piece of the team. I mean, when it comes to the Lions now missing Montgomery, I think a lot of people took stock in that. We're probably immediately like, oh, offense is going to falter. This is the time to capitalize, especially on the Bear side. But no, 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 no. That's just not how this goes. And for the Bears, with everything that's been going on this season, I think this just adds to the turmoil of, you know, we're hurting for the division, we're hurting for our team, and hopefully it's just getting back to another kind of top draft pick for for this upcoming season. But I think we need to start talking about Lions Super Bowl futures, man. This was an unreal game that you're doing it without one of your top producers. How do you not?
Jared Goff and a shaky defense.
Yeah, the
Hey,
defense is shaky.
there's a lot of teams with shaky defenses, but I will tell you, this Lions team's offense is just a little bit less. They got the sauce. That's what I'm putting it down as.
We'll
They got the
we'll,
sauce.
we'll see. They have their schedule. San Francisco and Minnesota to cap off a pretty battle of the NFC North, which is something that you wouldn't expect in years of past, but gotta love it. Let's go on to the afternoon slate games. Miami Dolphins take on the San Francisco 49ers. Dolphins win 29-17 in a must get right win game. Tua doesn't throw a pick this game. How about that? A chain goes off on the ground and in the passing game as well.
Miami eliminated, or I'm sorry, Miami stays alive with the win, but the fact that the 49ers are eliminated before kickoff, again, what? I thought that they were still alive, but it's like a poke 'em with the stick guy meme. It's like, come on, do something, and they weren't.
I'd be careful.
The staying alive by the Bee Gees and then record scratch. Nobody takes
Yeah. Yeah, they're frauds.
Yeah, they're also very gross and injured and don't know what you do with them
Frauds.
either. Lay on the Kyle Shanahan slander more. But huge win for the Dolphins, and let's see what they can pull out in the next 2 weeks. Um,
Dolphins
and
in
then
December. Watch out.
watch
Mm.
out. Jaguars take on the Raiders, lose 19-14. Raiders win. Uh, don't know if you like that if you're the Raiders. Doesn't lock up a good quarterback pick for you. Don't have your pick for quarterback. Aiden O'Connell played, and Brock Bowers, 11 receptions, 99 yards receiving, and that's all I really have.
I mean, honestly, I think they would have won by more if they started Ritter, but
No way. Get out of here.
Can't even say
I
that
don't
with a
know.
straight face.
Well, terrible. Who cares? Yeah, Jaguars were. I mean, they had that drive going into half where they just kept going off sides. And it was just procedural penalty, and then it ended in a Raiders punt anyways. Like it was just a disgusting game, an absolute meme-worthy game. Hats off to you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
To next week.
It's
I
about as
mean,
gross as I think that we all wanted it to be, you know.
yep, and it's about that gross that we're moving on to the next game.
Lovely.
The last final game of the slate, we had the Bills at home taking on the Patriots, and the Bills squeaked by 24-21 in a surprising matchup with Drake May throwing it, getting some points on the board.
Buffalo. You just got to land the plane sometimes, you know, and it's not fun sometimes when you don't have these huge gangbuster wins, but Buffalo just needed to Buffalo, and there's hardly any animals that are going to catch a buffalo when need be, and this was not the case. No, no, Buffalo.
Yep. Divisional games are scary.
James Cook just went off. He had 2 touchdowns. He had that big breakout run for 46 yards. That looks sick, just raking arm tackles. And then also got a pass in the air from Josh Allen, which was also pretty cool too. So yeah, Bills squeaked by, and then I'll add one note. The Bills were down 14-17, and they still had a win probability of 70%. So there you go, Jake.
Nope.
Yeah,
Next game.
yeah. Drake May. Drake May. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
he's looking good. I'm honestly so worried in the back of my mind that Drake May is going to good and the Patriots are just going to somehow be alive, and I'm going to hate every second of it. Uh, but I don't think that'll happen. Okay, anyways, the Sunday night game, Jake's game, take on the Buccaneers in Jerry World. The line is Tampa Bay 4.5, the over under at 47, and I'll hand off the torch to Jake. What do you feel?
I
8.5.
like Dallas 4.5, and I like the over. I think that both teams, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, are faltering, and I think that both teams, when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, are not bad. Both teams are definitely hurt. Obviously, with Cowboys not having Dak Prescott, with Tampa not having Chris Godwin, I think that they've had to get really creative in what their receiving roles look like. And frankly, when it comes to the running back room, we've talked about it a couple times on the pod. I'm pissed off at Bucky Irving and Rashad White, so I hope that neither of them score. But when it comes to the
Whoa.
yeah. Hey, sorry, bud. But when it comes to Mike Evans, I think that he's getting in the end zone. The Cowboys secondary has been probably the hardest part of our team this entire year. And I just think that we're probably going to get shredded when it comes to him at least once, maybe twice. But I do think that Dallas walks out on top. I think that we're going to have a great running game from Rico Dowdle. And I think that CD Lamb being able to just do CD type things is going to be what we're looking for. So I'll take +4 in the over.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay to cover and the over as well because the Cowboys. I mean, I listen. I just expect to see Baker Mayfield little like crazy little ass running it to the sideline a bunch of times as like Michael Parsons overcommits, and then again he's probably gonna chase him down still though because he's fast as shit. So yeah, I mean I'll take Tampa Bay -4 in the over.
Yeah, I'm not going to be cute and overthink it or try to be tricky. It's Tampa and Tampa and the over. Sorry about it.
You're going to be
Well,
more sorry when you lose. So
well, I have Tampa money line in Bucky and CD to score, so uh
See you later.
hey, I've got CD Lamb for an anytime touchdown, and I also have him for the first touchdown, which for the last 2 weeks has worked out
yeah,
very, very well for me. So again, let's see if we can get a little crystal ball action and get back to the top.
ain't that right? Let's go on to the Monday night game where the New Orleans Saints march into the Lambeau Field, the frozen tundra, against the Packers. Green Bay is a 14-point favorite and the over-unders at 42 and a half.
Yeah, this is now the second
This
highest spread of the entire NFL season. I am terrified.
Jake, is this the biggest spread we've had to make in Bros of the Bleachers podcast history? I think it
No, we had
is.
no, we had the Ravens one
No, we didn't.
2 weeks ago. It was the
That was
16 and a half versus the Giants.
yeah, that wasn't a date. That wasn't a Monday night game or Sunday night game.
For prime time. My bad. My bad.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. When
Yeah,
we
yeah.
actually make predictions.
Prime time right now. Come on,
You're right. You're right. You're right.
elevate your mind.
I think it might be rocking with the Packers. I think I'm going Packers minus
Yeah.
14 and a half here. Alvin Kamara's out for the season. I think that that's probably the biggest X factor in this game. The fact that they're not going to be able to go into Green Bay and be able to really survive in any kind of cold weather environment here. And we're talking rookie head coach, and we're talking absolute cataclysmic quarterback, and no Taysom Hill. Give me Green Bay. And the over. Actually, the under. Wait, what's the over under?
42 and a half.
Yeah, I like the under.
Josh, your pick.
I'm gonna gamble it all on Spencer Venom Rattler, and we're gonna take the +14.5. And then we might as well take the under as the Saints put on a defensive gem. They're just gonna be taking everybody out left, right, and center. Bounty Gate, memories, because it's the only way possible that they might actually win. But you know what? We'll roll in with and be afraid of big spreads.
All right. Very, very bold of you to do that.
Those bastards.
I'm going to roll with the Green Bay Packers spread and give me the under. I feel like this game's going to be. Damn it, this does not feel good. It feels like a game that's going to be what, like 30-7 or something, or maybe 30-10. That's my guess. I don't know. 31-10. Let's call it that. Um, but that'll wrap up the NFL game predictions for the week, and we go on to current events, what we saw throughout the week. So let's start it off right here. Just one note for me: the Nationals acquired Mike Soroka from the White Sox, so actually added somewhat to a pitching staff, even though I know he's had Achilles issues. If this was
So,
28, if this was 2018, this would be sick, right?
yeah, you'd be jumping up and down a little bit more,
Oh
but
yeah.
no,
Oh
this
yeah.
is a gentle fist bump in the air type thing, but not the jump up and down moment.
No, it's not. And then my next one was Ellie De La Cruz showing up to a random Dominican All-Star game, or no, baseball game, and he was wearing his All-Star game uniform.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, just randomly showed
Um,
up.
That's
Um,
that's a hell of a flex.
right. Just coming back home, just like, yeah, this All-Star.
Yep.
My next one that we all love, TJ McConnell, Arizona basketball point guard legend, was inducted into the Ring of Honor at Arizona. Gave his patented trademark kiss on the A in the center of the court, and
yeah,
God, was he so much fun to watch play.
Oh yeah. Absolutely electric when it comes to not only the shooting ability, but when more of the assist, steals, grittiness, basketball IQ. I love it. All about it. In TJ
great,
we trust.
absolutely deserve it. Yeah,
He
show
was
'em where the
just,
good booze are. I'm assuming that all those Ring of Honor guys have a special area where they just get all the nice liquor in the stadium.
oh, true. Okay. Oh, I thought you said booze, like in boo. I didn't hear
Oh,
booze.
boo.
Booze, baby.
Let's go.
And then my last one was apparently rumors are swirling that Garrett Wilson wants to get traded, so that could happen during the offseason.
Would not be
Speculation.
shocked.
I think
Would not be shocked.
that again, that's probably been speculated what for the past like 3 months when his teammates have been complaining that he's been golfing more than he's been wanting to practice. And
Right.
so it's like, yeah, but a change of scenery is probably needed.
Oh, I
Get
didn't
out of
hear
that
that.
dumpster fire. Yeah. Or was that Sauce?
I think that was Sauce like I heard Sauce likes the golf.
Was it?
Um, maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was with them.
I mean, but again, though, Garrett, I mean, again, yeah, get him to a team where he's not having to carry some deadbeat quarterback.
Yeah, what's it been like this third year? No, second year. Second year he's been in the league. Yeah, two
I think
years
third.
just wait. Is it his
Two
third?
years is
Third.
2 years is yeah, 2 years is Zach Wilson won with
Oh,
uh
that's
Aaron.
right.
Gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
disgusting. Let's go on to yeah, that was it. All I had. Jake, your current events for the week.
Well, two big things in my world. When it comes to first, Victor Wembanyama becomes the not the first, but the quickest to make it to 200 career three pointers in the NBA, beating Steph, Harden, Ray Allen, the whole gamut of the list. He does it in 94 games, guys. That's just insane to me. Like the fact that he's hitting two, maybe three pointers a game, and he's 7'5", and he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Like all of those things, it just in my head don't make sense. But Victor Wembanyama is continuing to prove to be an alien, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, he's close as heck to the rim when he shoots, right? It's like
Exactly. It's like the Space Jam drop the arm into the basket type thing every time.
perfect example.
And then the other current event that I had was Charlie Woods, the son of Tiger Woods, hits a hole in one at the PNC Championship for his first ever ace. The clip is unreal. Drew, throw it in here. And then when it comes to the actual ace, I guess Tiger wasn't even watching. That was one of the clips that I saw is that Tiger's turned around a little bit as the ball is in the air. He starts to see it and tracks down. But man, Charlie and Tiger coming out Sunday Reds going into the final day of PNC Championship today. That's just it's what we
That's
love.
just a classic one of those. Dad, watch. Dad, are you watching? Dad, watch.
Right.
No, but it was so cool because after Tiger was telling like I guess one of the people there, I think attendance, he's like, "Hey, drinks on him. Get drinks on him." And Charlie's just like, "I'm broke. I'm broke." He's like, "No, no, drinks on you. Drinks on you. You got John Daly waiting at the bar, knocking
Oh,
on the
right. Yeah.
bar." All the comments like, "Man, John's gonna rack up like a 50K bar tab."
Oh my God.
Oh my
um,
God.
but super cool, super cool.
Absolutely. And yeah,
Uh,
so I mean, my current events, all I really have is Ricky Henderson passed away, which is very sad. Uh, you know, real good base stealer, one of the greatest. Um, and yeah,
R.I.P. Poor.
R.I.P. Ricky.
I know Jake had quite a few stories during the baseball playoffs about Ricky, and when we talk about baseball, so it's tough.
Hey, Ricky is obviously a legend. The baseball world was better for having him than for not having him. Playing on a ton of different teams, setting records, being iconic, talking in the third person. Man, I remember back to one of the first episodes of Bros in the Bleachers podcast that we did. We were talking about our dream blackjack tables, and Ricky Henderson was
Yeah.
at mine. So again,
Yeah.
to all the blackjack tables up in heaven, brother, T's and P's.
65, really young if you think
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, end our current events. We move on to our bench or play. Who are we benching? Who are we playing? I'm playing the Washington Capitals. Beat the Carolina Hurricanes, and Charlie Lindgren had one of the sickest saves of the season. Absolute windmill. Maybe I'll spin the video. Who knows? And then to follow that, the Capitals PR Twitter was just like Washington goal differential plus 37, highest in the NHL versus last year in the playoffs where it was minus 37. And then you have Michael Scott. Well, 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 how are the turntables? So I thought that was cool. And then the next big thing for Washington, government legislation passed a bill to allow the District of Washington, D.C. to decide the future of the old RFK Stadium site. So my team could finally not have to play in Maryland or the rumored, play in the middle of nowhere, Virginia. You could play right on Capitol Hill, at the edge of Capitol Hill, right on the water at the or RFK Stadium. So that would be pretty cool since our stadium is decrepit and has poop water coming down on our fans at times, right?
Not great.
Or
Or hot
uh,
water in the locker rooms.
or fans about the trample Jalen Hurts off a fence. Remember that, Josh?
Yeah, that
It's
was
not the
nuts.
fans, it's the players.
And then my bench, bench for all of us, I would hope. Arizona players jumping ship to go to University of Washington to go play for that MF or scumbag. And Jacob Manu, you are dead to us.
I can't put the degree in the transfer portal.
No, cannot. Jacob Manu, what was thought to be, U of A, hopefully good player. Didn't have that greatest of the season, obviously. Team stunk this year. But yeah, jump ship to Washington, dead. Dead to me.
Coward.
Portal is a different beast, brother.
Yep. Is what
And
it is.
and Jake, I'll hand off the torch to you.
Well, all I've got is probably the biggest play that I've had in a damn long time. The World Dart Championships. Stephen Bunting had the most electrifying walkout that I've ever seen. Drew, do me a favor and throw it in. Stephen Bunting is eighth in the world right now when we're talking about the world darts rankings. And I could go through all the different stats, and you're not going to listen to this anyways. But the fact that you even have a walkout song to a darts competition is just sick. And that beats any of the boxing walkouts that I've seen all year. It's beat all of the MMA ones, all of the UFC ones. I want to popularize walkout songs in all sports, though, because there should be other sports that theoretically could beat out darts. But if you are interested in the darts world, Stephen Bunting's next matchup is against Madar Razma from Latvia on 12/27 at 4:40 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Watch out. The third round, Stephen Bunting's coming for you. That's my play this week.
Those dark crowds are electric.
Unreal.
Just
And they're around
absolutely.
the heart of London, man. Like it's like a pub crowd, but it's like they're doing it right. It's crazy.
Pubbing.
God, imagine if it was all of us were there. I'd be so down.
I'd be singing Bulletproof
Oh,
like a mofo.
oh. I would
Right?
definitely be doing the Sunday night football song.
And Jake, did you have any more? Oh, was just to play this
No,
week?
that's just a big old fat play from our guy Stephen Bunting.
Hammer. Love it. Stephen Bunting. Josh, your bench play this week.
And I will be playing this tweet, which is says when I say I have that dog in me, this is the dog I mean.
No.
It's obviously Smokey put in a blanket on the side of the Ohio State game. And my takeaway from this is, listen, is the SEC soft? Is the Big Ten gonna come in and prove that they're the best conference here, and maybe take the Natty? And
They
are we gonna
damn
get
near
dog?
just
Are
might.
we might have to get blankets for Uga. And with that's it. That's all that's left, right?
Greg Sankey's like, no, we didn't want this SEC team. We wanted the other SEC team. We wanted Bama to be in or Ole Miss. Wah, cry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Should have made it anyways. But Smokey looks cute. He needs earmuffs for those big ears. They're probably cold. Poor dog.
Probably. They're cold. You're cold.
Ouch. And that'll wrap up bench or play. Let's go on to worst or best tweet, and I have a lot, and I'm gonna fire them through as quick as I possibly can. Uh, we also found out that David Montgomery season this might not be over yet. Maybe he has a playoff. There's a third doctor opinion that they did have, and the doctor might have been Dan Campbell in a white coat. I just thought that was
So
funny.
ridiculous.
And then the next one is we all love how Miami paid a bunch of money to recruit these players, and Mario Cristobal wearing a shirt. I paid $20 million for a college football roster, and all I got was a bunch of Pop Tarts since they're playing in the Pop Tart Bowl.
Rock and roll, baby.
um, and
Mario.
and then college game day at I think Indiana South Bend for Notre Dame. We horrific day to be a mystery with Nick Saban rocking this lid. And then you had Shane Gillis calling Nick Saban live on television Alabama Jones.
That, that was the best joke of college football game day in a long time. But yeah, no, he looks like he needs to go get the crystal skull.
Right. Yeah. Nick was not having any of it, and then
No.
she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Is this not a fun show?"
Yeah, I'm Nick Saban. I'd like that Crystal Skull to play quarterback.
I'd like to play. I'd like to be on my football team. And then
Belongs in a museum.
my next one was Draymond Green is taking over Tony Snell for worst stat line ever. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, over 4 from the field, and minus 42 plus minus. Couldn't happen to a better player.
Plus 150 in hustle.
Next one, second last one. We had the SMU donors had to get diverted from State College to another Williamsport Airport in Pennsylvania, and they got a party shuttle celebrating. And then you have Big Cat being like, "Turn the bus around, it's over." Turn the bus around, it's over.
You don't need to get here. It's all good.
Hey guys, the game's over. It's been like 15 minutes. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, don't make it.
And then my last one, I promise. Ohio State, Tennessee. Ohio State fans came out swinging, and a fan had a "fuck Dolly Parton" sweatshirt to show his disdain for the opponent in the Tennessee Volunteers.
Uh,
Oh my lord.
I mean, I don't care the same sentiment.
College football is just a different breed, man.
Unmatched.
Unmatched is right. That's all I had. So, Jake, worst best tweet.
All right. Well, all I've got this week is a best tweet, and it comes from Yankees or at Yankees World. And the Philadelphia Phillies acquired Jesus Luzardo from the Marlins. And then the Yankees World tweet was the Marlins will now enter a 5-year rebuild after being in a 5-year rebuild following their original 5-year rebuild. And they just can't get it right now. And I don't really understand it. But I mean, frankly, this is a little bit of a failed prospect situation. Luzardo was drafted in 2016 in the first round and hasn't really come out to be perfect. But frankly, sometimes it's just that change of scenery because we've seen it from the Marlins guys like in an insane number recently. I mean, Jazz Chisholm, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcelo Zuna, Christian Yelich, JT Realmuto, right? So, I mean, this could easily be a situation where maybe he just goes out and thrives after being out of Miami.
It
But
should be what? Go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to say, but the Marlins at this point have really just taken their ability from their, really bad farm system to, somehow just maneuvering all of these prospects over the last couple of months with their new GM. But now they're currently ranked as a 15th highest farm system in all of baseball. So who knows? The Marlins could be back.
15th highest farm system.
15th highest farm system in all of baseball right
That
now, heading
sucks.
into no, I mean, comparatively to 29th when they start the season.
Okay, never remember. I
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have they ranked first, and what has it amounted to? 3 more rebuilds.
Yeah, no. Again, I'm not. Listen. I don't want to be out here saying I'm supporting the Marlins by any means. I'm on the fact that they're in another rebuild.
Oh,
but
Jakey Marlins here pushing an agenda again.
nope. But hey, if there's any agenda I'm going to push, they have acquired 11 ranked prospects in the last 3 months, and they've got a lot of sauce moving forward. So
suck it, cheater.
that was my best tweet of the week. My worst tweet of the week is that we all got the news. Kanye Udo is now going to ASU, and I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, the
You should
tweet that
exactly know how to feel about it. What is it? You know exactly.
well,
Continue.
because we like the dude and he did great for us this season, and now he's got to go to a school that doesn't care about its morals. But the tweet that I saw was from Johnny Carson, and it's not actually Johnny Carson. We all got it, but
Live?
basically it's breaking the news that Kanye Udo is going to ASU. He says Army to Arizona State may be the most drastic lifestyle change in the history of American education. And that is about right. I mean, you're going from waking up and being called corporal to maybe being called something else. So I don't know. It'll be a little interesting for Kanye Udo over at ASU.
Military police. I found him. I know where he is. Tempe. Go get him. Take him
Yeah,
back.
he was on contract at West Point. Now he's probably going to contract something else at ASU. If you know what I mean. Ha ha, we're having fun.
Drink
Oh, I thought this
Tempe
was a fun
River.
show. My bad.
You got it from the Tempe River. Everybody at home, relax.
Yeah, the Tempe River. And Josh, what's your best tweet?
My worst or best tweet is the worst best thing that could happen from an Eagles loss is that the Cowboys are officially eliminated from the playoffs. I told him I was coming for him later, and now he's gonna disappear as he should. Hide your face in shame. But again, my team lost, which sucks, and that makes me sad. But again, what makes me happy is that the Cowboys will be watching from the couch.
You only get like two more of those, bro.
Wait, I'm gonna use my last one. Is it still the Cowboys' year, Jake?
Yeah, give us another one. Do it again.
Hey.
Do a we them boys.
You eat them. Wait, insert the Bart Simpson meme.
Do it again.
It's our year.
Hey, talk to me after this Buccaneers games, folks.
We're not
Talk
going
to
to
me
talk to
after
you
the
about.
Buccaneers game.
We're not going to talk about whether or not it's your year until after the draft, Bucko, because you're eliminated.
Damn right. We own it.
Oh, that's the last time I'll do that for the whole year, Jake.
I doubt it.
Me too. I make no promises.
Hey, we only got what, like 8 more days? And that'll wrap up. Worst or best? Make a running back through wheel spin. So let's get into it, guys. Who wants to go first? But actually, no. Let me preface of the categories how you can build your running back. So it's all through current NFL running backs at the moment. I've included a few injured, like Christian McCaffrey. Like I'm not going to include Isaiah Guarendo as building your running back. So
Of course.
kills that, right? The categories go as such: speed, power, agility, pass catching, and injury volatility. So, how often or how little a player is injury prone or not. So, Josh, who wants to go first?
I leave me.
Let's see it,
Josh?
Josh.
Josh will be the guinea
Send
pig
me
to
in.
lead us off. So, all right. And Josh's first player that he'll be getting is David Montgomery.
Can I get the categories again?
We have speed, power, agility, pass catching, and injury volatility. Now he is hurt, but he hasn't been hurt too much in his career.
We might just have to do power just because of just in short yardage. That's where Detroit butters his biscuit.
I like that.
That
I
is
would have
that.
said maybe pass catching, but I do like power.
No, he's definitely power, I would say.
I think it's just more.
He does catch out the backfield.
Yeah, Montgomery definitely has got some receiving to him too.
Oh,
All right, so that'll leave David Montgomery at power. So let's go ahead and go on to the next one. Who will Josh be getting? So you got a pretty powerful running back with David Montgomery. You will be getting Josh Jacobs. So speed, pass catching, agility, and injury.
we're gonna do injury for that one.
Yeah,
Smart man.
Has he?
I think he has not missed many games, if any.
I don't think he has at all. Well, he's definitely probably missed a couple, but yeah, no, he definitely bit of an Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was a workhorse for the Raiders for a long time, and then he's doing it right now in Green Bay too. So I would say that's a good spot for him. All right, next spin. What will Josh be getting? So we have pass catching, agility, and speed. And Josh will be getting Javonte Williams from Denver.
Oh, that's tough.
Hmm.
Uh,
Did you pass catching for that one? Pass catching? I think pass
Yeah,
catching is where we're
it's
gonna
not
go.
bad.
yeah, I would say that's the correct move. All
And maybe
right.
we should check how many receiving yards he has here. It's gonna be like 0.
7.
He has had a pretty crappy season, but he has dealt with injury too. But I think he's been catching out of the backfield quite a bit.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a. Oh yeah, no, he's got some good. He's got some good receiving.
Yeah, I'd say you should be confident with that
I think it.
for what you're dealt with. All right, next pick: speed and agility. What will he get? Will he get the likes of Jameer Gibbs? He will be getting Brian Robinson Jr. from the Washington Commanders.
It's definitely not holding on to the ball ability, I'll tell you that.
Damn.
Uh, he, I mean, he's got sneaky speed. Um, I wouldn't describe him as an agile guy, so we might have to take speed just as a safety
Yeah.
and just hope for agility. See what again, agility. You thinking definitely Saquon Barkley. That's a good agile pick. Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, yeah,
Hmm.
Chuba.
There's some, yeah, you got some ability here.
Devon A. Chain, maybe.
Yeah, Joe Mixon, just game breaker there.
Josh will have Nick Chubb for agility. So pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I listen. My guy, his agility is ground and pound, and that's clear.
Yep.
He's pretty shifty. I mean, obviously barring like his injuries, but I mean, still he's fun, super fun to watch.
The
Oh
one he's
yeah.
definitely. I think what we say is my agility is just he's a one cut guy.
Yep, that's fair to say. All right, Jake, you want to go next?
Let's do it. Let's see it.
All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel, Jake. Let's do it.
Let's see it.
You will be getting for your first pick Kyron Williams, Los Angeles Rams.
Hmm. It's a fun person to start off with. I feel like they're really good balance kind of across all these different categories. I'm gonna have him be my agile pick. I have a feeling that
Okay.
I feel like that's not too bad. I don't want to put him as the guy that I'm putting down for speed or power just because there are, much better players in the league when it comes to those things. Pass catching is not too bad. Injury, I think it's a little bit too early to be able to put down on. Give it as my agile
Let's take them
agility.
fresh legs.
I would agree with that. He's definitely like the most all-around player in the NFL as far as running backs go in these categories. So,
Hmm.
all right, second spin. Who will you be getting next? We got speed, power, pass catching, and injury, and Jake will be getting Alvin Kamara.
Pass catching.
Come on, Saints boy. Let's go.
Yep.
This is one of the best to do it all time. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're taking
yeah.
we're taking Kamara receiving. It ain't injury.
No, that's true. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I guess it's his first injury season. He's had, I guess, quite some time,
Yeah, I
maybe.
know that there's been years though where he's missed, a game or two type thing. So again,
Yeah.
T's and P's.
All right.
Fairly available.
Third spin, speed, power, and injury. This could get tricky for you if it doesn't bounce your way. Jake will be getting Javonte Williams.
Ooh. Gross. Um,
Who's laughing now, boy?
I think I'm gonna go speed. I don't think that that's that bad of a pick, right? Like, I,
No.
I, I don't see him being like a huge power back. Obviously, can't put him in the injury piece just with how the season's gone. All right, let's see it, Drew.
All right.
I'm checking 40 times.
Fourth spin, power, and injury. Jake will be landing with Saquon Barkley.
I
Got to be power, right? Yeah. I
Yeah.
obviously there's been some injury pieces to it, so let's just hope we get lucky on somebody who
That's
hasn't
pretty
hasn't
good
gotten injured
though.
before. I
Agility
hey,
of Kyron, speed power Saquon, pass catching of Kamara.
speed of Javante. Let's see injury ability. Just don't give me CMC right now. We should be all right.
Yeah, that'd be kind of tough.
Yeah.
4.57 40-yard time.
What'd you say?
4.57 yard 40.
Not
4.57
bad, not
second.
bad.
Jake,
Yeah.
you got fresh legs. Bucky Irving will be your injury. So rookie, fresh
Okay.
and
I can work with that. I mean, again, obviously we haven't seen, the years of service when it comes to Bucky yet, but um I'm with it. I can take that ability all across the field.
I think you lucked out pretty well.
Not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, now it's my turn.
Spin that wheel.
Oh man, I'm nervous. What if I just tank it?
Let's
Injury,
see.
Christopher McCaffrey. Oh, it's disgusting. Alexander Madison.
Ooh.
Oh,
My God.
he went to Boise State.
Pass catching? Is
Okay.
that
Yeah.
is that yeah, pass catching? God, that was gross.
I mean, you
Uh,
don't want to take him for the big three categories, and he's been hurt in
Absolutely
his
not.
career, so that's
Yeah.
where you got to fit him in.
Ugh. Yeah. Alexander Madison pass catching, not very fun. Speed, power, agility, and injury left for me. I will be getting Chase Brown. Chase Brown
Ooh.
from
Ooh.
the Bengals. I don't know. I don't know what to pick for him. Um, give me, give me speed for Chase Brown.
Interesting. Okay. I like
I
that.
don't, I don't know how really fast he is, but he does break out some decent runs for them.
Hmm.
Not excitingly, but no, that's not true. All right, power, agility, and injury. Ah, I should have put him as injury. What an idiot. Fuck.
Mm, tough. Tough beat.
Oh, I will be getting Saquon Barkley.
Man,
So power,
hand,
agility, injury. We're gonna
hand it out to everybody but me.
we're gonna rule out injury. You know what? I'm gonna be freaky and go agility. I'm gonna be opposite of
Yeah.
Jake.
I was gonna say that's if I had that one open for him, I was going agility more than I am power. Don't get me wrong, Saquon is downhill and he will eat you, but
Yeah.
I mean, guy made a
Spin
fucking
move,
backwards hurdle.
reverse hurdle. Yeah.
Point of contact balance.
All right, let's go. Power and injury, the last two slots I got.
Let's see it.
Let's I will be getting I'll be getting Brian Robinson Jr., so I'll have him at the power slot.
There you go.
I like him watching bruising people, especially when he's not filming the ball. Twice in a
That
game.
helps.
Right?
That does help. Yeah.
Oh, we should
So
have ball
long.
carrying. That would have been a good one. Ball carrying.
Mm.
Hmm. All right. Injury. Who we
Okay.
got as our final last slot? Oh, don't be Christian. Don't be Christian. Damn, this one kind of sucks. Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
My running back.
Especially just coming back from injury too.
Yeah, not fun.
Oh, then he should be done for the rest of, he's healthy for the rest of his career, right? That's how that works.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I
Exactly. Yeah.
agree,
Yeah.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my running back speed, Chase Brown, B Rob, Saquon Barkley, agility, pass catching Madison, and injury, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, probably could have done that one a little bit differently, but you know what? We roll, we roll.
Hey, I think what we've got to do is we've got to plug these guys into Madden and see like with their rankings of like their speed, their power, their agility, right? Like how it ends up ranking out. But damn, I'm happy with mine. Speed of Javante Williams, power of Saquon Barkley, agility of Kyron Williams, pass catching of Alvin Kamara, injury of Bucky Irving. I think I'm going to a few Pro Bowls.
I made a moving fridge.
That was too good.
Oh man.
Hey, a moving fridge that can kind of catch.
Ah,
Just
there's some
open up the freezer and throw a football in there.
which I did look at what Alexander Madison's receiving
Is it bad?
Stats are like, yeah, he has like 248 yards on the year,
Oh, that's not like the worst.
like 33 targets, 27 receptions in
It's like
2024.
average.
Yeah, we're almost through the whole season,
It's average. And I mean, well, he's been sharing with like Tucker. What's that other guy's name? Sean Tucker? No, that was on the whatchamacallit.
You're
Bucks.
get targeted
Zahir
29.
White. Zahir White.
Yeah, yeah.
That's who it was. So, look, I got chicken shit and I try to make chicken salad, and you know what? It didn't work out, and you know what? We fight on it, but I think Jake won this
No,
round.
we don't fight on. He went to Boise State.
Bronco Bluefield on.
Bronco up.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But anyways, that'll wrap up the segment and that'll wrap up the show. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Go to our Spotify, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. Links all below. Any closing thoughts before we sign out, fellas?
Hey, listen, we're just getting this Cowboy game started. We're up 3-0. Aha! So don't be surprised when I'm right. But
That's not a
hey, keep trying.
touchdown.
Hey,
I'm scared for the overs.
Ain't that the truth? And this will be another episode of Bros in the Bleachers podcast.
later, Rose.